Your learning intention for today is I know how to multiply fractions. Your success criteria is I know how to properly multiply numerators and denominators. Before we jump into procedure today, because it's really simple to get caught in just doing it, multiplying numerators, multiplying denominators, I want you to really understand the context and understand the concept behind what is actually happening when you're multiplying fractions. I'm going to do my best to explain to you guys. If it gets confusing, you can check out the video that I'm going to link in the description bar from Mashup Math. I'm basically taking his video and trying to put it in my own words, but if, once again, I don't do a good job, go ahead and check that video out, please. And then at the end of this, I will give you some practice problems, maybe like 2 or 3. You don't have to draw any pictures with this, but still show your work. I want to see your arithmetic. Okay, here we go. Let me grab a paper to cover this. Here we go. Okay. So I'm using shapes here instead of numbers. And anytime you multiply something by 1, it's going to be that number. So I know right here I have a green circle, but this could literally be any value. It could be 500, it could be 5. If you multiply it by 1, it's still going to be that number that value that you started with. Now, I'm going to jump down over here. Now, what about if I multiply it by 2? Well, then I'm going to have 2 of those values. Okay. Now, here is a fraction. So if I have a value right here, green circle, times 1/2, that means I want 1/2 of this original piece, okay? So that's why I'm left with 1/2. I know, this is pretty simple, but it can get confusing when I move on. So pay attention, because now I have 3/4. 3/4 times 2/3. And 3/4 can be drawn like so, right? Here we go. 3/4. And basically, here, let me try to see. Here's my 3/4. I've colored in 3 out of the 4 slices of this pie. And now I want, basically what this equation is saying is I want you to turn those 3/4 now into different sized pieces. It's asking now, instead of fourths, because these are 1, 2, 3, 4, I want you to turn that group of 3/4, transfer it over, and now turn them into thirds. So here's my 3/4. And now I want you to turn them into 3 pieces. Well, luckily, 1, 2, 3, it's already sliced up into thirds. And now it's telling me I want 2 out of those 3 pieces. So that would be 1, 2, if that makes sense. And now I'm left with 1/2. There we go, because I just colored in these 2 pieces. Okay, now, so obviously when you're doing math, this is just for like understanding it, but when you include numbers, you can also, and here's the trick, remember when we were multiplying, or when we were adding and subtracting fractions, I asked you, hey, can we add these pieces together? And the answer is no, you have to have the same unit on the bottom, the same denominator. Well, in fractions, you don't have to do that. You can actually just multiply straight across. So 3 times 2 is 6, and 4 times 3 is 12. Well, 6 out of 12 pieces is the same as 1/2. So this 1/2 piece, 1/2 piece, 1/2 piece. They're all equal to 1/2. Now, I want you to practice some fraction work. Let's do, and once again, show all your work in your video response. Let's do 5/6 times 1/2. And let's do 3/9 times 7/10. There you go. And I think this is really simple for you, so I'm going to give you one more. Let's do 4/5 times 3/4. Go ahead and solve these problems and do your best to also simplify them. So after you multiply across, try to make them as small as possible. Alrighty, have fun with it, guys.